Hello and welcome to another episode of Queer Peer Reviews, where we review queer media, good, bad, and ugly. I'm your host, Jamie, and today with me is my co-host, Jordan.
Welcome to Queer Peer Reviews, where we review good and not so good gay Christmas films, I guess, today.
So today we're going to be reviewing the Netflix 2021 original Christmas film, Single All the Way.
With a great name, in my opinion. I love that title.
It's a good title.
And if you can't guess, Single All the Way is about a single man.
A single gay man. That's why we're reviewing it.
Wait, really? But I thought that they were just roommates.
They were roommates.
So yeah, the story revolves around a gay man named Peter who is invited to go home to his family for the holidays, and Peter is notorious for always being single throughout the holidays.
But this Christmas is going to be different because Peter actually has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's excited to bring this man home. He's talking to his best friend, Nick, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Best friend Nick about it. Nick is a published author, best friend's roommate. They've known each other since Peter and Nick both moved to the city at the same time.
I think like 8 years ago too.
Yeah, so close friends for a very long time. Peter's excited until Nick discovers that douchebag boyfriend man is actually married
To a woman.
That was in sync. I love it.
And therefore they
Obviously
break up.
can't work out. At least
Yeah.
Peter has decency to not allow this man to continue to cheat on his wife.
Exactly. So again, Peter is now single during the holidays.
Again. But of course, Peter doesn't want to return home after telling his family that he had a surprise for them, so he decides to ask Nick to go along and maybe, just maybe, definitely, pretend to be in a relationship with him.
I think we can see where this is going. Very Hallmark-esque.
Nick doesn't want to pretend, though. He, off the bat is like, that is not a good idea. Let's not do that. But Nick still goes anyways. Once they get there, though, the minute that Peter sees his family, they're all ecstatic that Nick is there and saying, oh, thank goodness. We thought that you were going to bring a man home, but now we see it's Nick. So it's definitely not your boyfriend.
Definitely not your boyfriend. This is your best friend.
So since you're still single, as we suspected, we're going to set you up on a blind date.
Yeah, so his mom, I forget the mom's name, sweet woman, she decides, hey, there's this really, hot gay guy at my gym class, and I'm going to set you up with him because you're gay, he's gay.
And he's hot.
And
you're
hot.
somewhat hot.
So they decide they're going to go on a blind date together with the push from Nick, because originally they were planning.
The minute Nick hears about the fact that there's a blind date, he's like, yes, go,
Do it.
we're not together. Which completely threw Peter under the bus, because all Peter wanted to do this Christmas was spend it with his family.
The mom, she kind of had some other intentions with this blind date as well. She really wants Peter to move back home to New Hampshire with them because they live all the way in LA, which is super far, of course.
Yeah.
Complete opposite side of the country. But she's hoping that if this blind date goes well with her son and her gym instructor, maybe, just
Peter
maybe,
will be forced to move back home and spend family time with them all the time. But the mom didn't really have to push too hard on this, because this is also kind of what Peter wants. He's tired of being in the city. He's tired of his job. He works for a media company where they do ad campaigns, and he's just done with that life, and he wants to focus on his favorite thing, which is
plants. It's also my favorite thing, if I haven't
gay.
expressed this before. But he wants to open up a little plant shop in New Hampshire, settle down, be with his family, and this could all be possible if everything goes well with James, who is the gym instructor. So the thing about Peter's family is that they also know Nick, and they've always thought throughout the entire friendship that they are just perfect for each other. And they say it a lot throughout the movie, which honestly, in my opinion, I think it's very awkward.
It's very forced. The minute that the blind date comes up, the nieces are like, I thought that Nick and Peter were perfect together. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Even the dad even brings it up
Even
at
the
one
dad.
point. Yeah.
The only one who is against it, but not so against it, is the mom, because she read gay stuff online. She knows that that is a stereotype, Yes, gay stuff online. I'm getting looks from the people behind the camera for saying that.
That was really funny.
That's a stereotype, and you shouldn't go into the stereotype. And I like that they address that, because, I mean, this movie is a stereotype, but at the same time, it's a stereotype of holiday films where, like, a straight couple are best friends and they slowly fall in love with each other. So I'm like, I can forgive it.
Like I said, we could slowly start seeing where this movie's leading up to. But anyway, moving on to the blind date.
They went to the diner that was next to a Christmas tree place, and then they went and picked out a Christmas tree together because the mom insisted on getting a white plastic tree that year.
But that's unacceptable,
That's
especially
not
in New
Christmas.
Hampshire. There's trees everywhere.
That's not Christmas. A white tree?
No.
That's like almost as bad as a pink, neon pink tree. Oh, this is plastic too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. That's my
Cheap.
tree.
So Peter goes to meet up with James and realizes, wow, this guy's a total hunk. And if you see this movie, you'll probably recognize him. It's Luke McFarlane, who's also in Bros, another movie we had reviewed.
He's
little
definitely
earlier.
making his way into the gay rom-com genre.
Yeah, I think he's a big rom-com guy too.
But also it's like, what, 2 gay rom-coms that exist, really? I mean, I know there's more, but there's none. So, he's in most of them.
He's in a majority of the 2 that are.
While this date is going on, Nick is harassed, attacked by the nieces.
I would definitely say harassed. and
Harassed
attacked
by
are
the
very
nieces,
accurate.
talking about how much, like, how dare you let Peter go on this date? You and Peter are meant to be. Just tell him.
Again, I think that's just so awkward for like
For
people's
Nick?
family just to come up to be like, you clearly belong with him. Like, what if this person didn't have feelings?
Well, that's where the stereotype would not work. Like,
Yeah.
if Nick didn't have feelings, this movie would be a totally different story. It's just a bunch of straight people who just think every gay person needs to be together.
And like that's what it felt like to me. I felt like the family was like, oh yeah, he's gay. They clearly belong together. That's what it felt like to me.
It felt like that. But also, when you see Peter and Nick together, there is a chemistry. So it's like, you can forgive it. Because, like, just because they can't see it, everyone else can see it, including, well, that's spoilers.
But yeah, so then we're introduced to their aunt, who is this like amazing, fun character. She puts on this like Christmas play. I think it's every year. Yeah, so the whole family usually participates in this this said play, and Nick and Peter become super involved in it because I think it's
The aunt is just
nieces.
kind of crumbling under the
yeah.
pressure of it all. And so the nieces suggest, you know what, how about the 2 gay guys do this?
Yeah, they know about.
They acknowledge
Theater.
that not all gay guys like theater, but also all gay guys just get things done, said
Yeah.
by the aunt.
And it's also part of their plan to try to push Nick and Peter together closer and closer because
Spend as much time together as you can while also going on blind dates with another dude and trying to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
It's a busy holiday.
So Peter does go on another date with James, and that's when he kind of like solidifies that, hey, like I think I actually am gonna move back here to see my family, and like now I could seriously see this guy James. But after he comes home from that date, that's when Nick finally like kind of realizes he does have feelings.
Yeah, and hearing about the Peter now talking about moving back, it kind of feels like Peter's just running away.
And like honestly, that makes Nick really sad because he just realized, wait, I do have feelings for my best friend
Yeah.
of 8 years, and now he wants to move very far away from me.
Eventually, I think the nieces have another conversation with Nick and tell him that, like, you need to just go for it. Don't be afraid of ruining your relationship, because what's going to ruin it worse is you having feelings and never sharing it. So Nick decides to bite the bullet, and
Fast forward a little more into the movie, and we get to the play that the family is putting on. And Peter invited James to like see everything that he just helped work on. James gets there and he sees that like Peter and Nick are kind of like together and like
they're cuddling
They're
up.
cuddling.
Like, truly arm around the other person, holding hands, watching this play happen. And if you're watching this, you're going to think that we're a straight couple. But we're not. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Attacked by the tree. The gay
tree's-
tree did not approve.
But yeah, throughout like all of Peter and James's dates, like Peter would always talk about Nick constantly.
It came up the entire time.
Yeah.
Nick and I did this. Nick is like this. And you can see that James is kind of reading between the lines and kind of seeing that there could be something there.
Yeah, he even brings it up during one of their dates, like, hey, like, are you sure there's no like hidden feelings between you guys that you guys are just not seeing for yourselves? But obviously, everyone else can see it but them. After the play's over, it went so much better than originally thought it was gonna be. We see Nick and Peter inside the kitchen. They're talking, and then out of nowhere, Nick kind of just goes, hey, like, Peter, I just want to let you know, like, I love you. And Peter goes, aw, I love you too. But like in a friend way. But then he goes, no. Peter.
I love you, love you.
And Peter kind of is just in shock and kind of lets go of his hand. He goes, I don't know, like, I can't lose you as a friend. Like, I don't know, like...
He clearly was working through his emotions. This was a shock to him, and although he has feelings for him, he doesn't want to ruin the relationship. And what makes it worse is at this moment where Peter has this 20-second realization that they could be a thing, James steps in.
Yes. So James is like, wow, that was so great. Like, do you guys want to go out for drinks? Like, I think they're all, like, the whole family's going.
Gonna celebrate because there was another subplot about, like, the modeling that they all did. That's not important to the story, but just gave a good reason for James to, like, for them to all go and celebrate.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour movie. They try to pack a lot in there. Nick decides, hey, like, you guys can go, I'll catch up. But which he actually doesn't do. He decides, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go back to LA early.
Which I also thought was kind of rude, because, like, he took their rental car? Was he just gonna return that and leave Peter without a car?
I guess so.
Like, that, to me, that's rude. I also did not realize it was a rental car. They didn't say that they had a car. I thought they were borrowing a family car the whole time, so I just thought he was stealing the family car.
These rude-ass gay people. So before Nick heads over to the airport, he decides, hey, I'm gonna kill a little bit of time because on the side he does like this thing called like task rabbits, which are like these handy like little tasks people pay you to do. And he gets this notification for like a painting job. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill some time, make some money before I fly to LA.
Yeah.
And he goes to this like little shop and the owner's like, hey, like I just need you to paint these walls for me because I'm selling the place soon. And that's when this brilliant idea goes off in his head. But before we get to that, go back to Peter.
Peter and James go out to celebrate their, like, the play and the modeling thing that happened. Mm-hmm. So they're sitting down, and this is after James had finally seen Peter and Nick together. And James, he saw something, a spark between them. So the conversation comes up that maybe we're not right for each other. That's when Peter gets up, goes home to go and tell Nick, and Nick's not there. There's a letter that Nick is leaving town. He's going home.
He took all his stuff and the rental car. So yeah, Peter goes driving.
He's driving to the airport, and on his way, he sees their rental car.
He's like, is that their rental car? And he just
Yeah, totally disregards where he was going, pulls over, and just finds Nick casually painting a wall. It's like, oh, what up?
The thing that Nick and Peter's like friendship throughout the years is that they never got each other Christmas presents because that was just their thing for some reason. But Nick says, hey, like, before I go, I just want to give you your Christmas gift. And he's like, what do you mean we don't do gifts? He's like, well, this is your gift. And he's like,
well, this is a different gift. This is a goodbye because you're planning on moving here. This is our last Christmas together. Because right now Nick is thinking that Peter chose James over him.
Is not the case.
Not at all.
So Peter finally admits that I love you too, and voila, they share their first kiss together, happily ever after, and Nick now has this plant shop that he bought for Peter.
The apartment, the room that he was painting, Nick decided to buy for Peter, that he could open up the plant shop that he always wanted. Nick will pay for the first 6 months rent so he can get everything set it up. In case you didn't know, Nick is rich off of a book that we didn't talk about because it's just one of the other many subplots.
There's a lot of subplots in here. But yeah, the stereotype came true. The two gay friends got together just like the family was plotting to do. oh so very awkwardly behind their back.
But let's be real, I love the way that Peter and Nick decide to tell the family. So, like, they don't just, like, go home and be like, hey, we work things out, we're together now. They decide to keep it kind of to themselves for one more day. They wait for Christmas, and then on Christmas morning, their gift to the family is, we're together, and we're moving home.
Together. As a couple. Because we're gay.
But let's be real, that's all that family ever wanted, because they were way too excited.
They were way too invested in the relationship of their son, and
Yeah.
it's strange.
It was kind of nice to see, though. Like, it was a supportive family. They were really invested. They were happy for them.
It's not at a level I'd want my family to be invested in my relationship, though, to be honest. But yeah, happily ever after, we get that Hallmark gay ending that we were expecting from the very beginning.
Yes, I love the Hallmarkness of this movie. Truly, it was a Hallmark classic.
Classic. Alright, so let's get to the ratings here at Queer Peer Reviews. We're going to review everything we review out of 5 different categories for a grand total of 100.
So first, we're going to start with representation.
So for representation, I give it an 8.
I gave it a 7.
Nice. So I didn't necessarily have anything good or bad to say about the representation. Like, it was clearly there. We had gay men represented there. I just feel like it was brought down a little bit because they gave us, like, all 3 queer characters in here were, like, super conventionally attractive, especially both of the love interests. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they do that a lot in queer movies where they only use, like, super attractive gay men.
Okay. I mean, I can see your point,
Yeah.
but I also want to counter with they use super attractive people in any romance movie.
That's true, yeah.
Like, I have not seen a single rom-com without them both being, like, supermodels.
Yeah. I mean, I guess on my end, I feel like in the movie Bros, they even brought it up to, like, if you're not super conventionally attractive, like, you're nobody in the gay community. And I feel like that was kind of...
Yeah, like, you're too old to be in the pool.
You're too old to be in the pool, basically. But yeah, I mean, like, not necessarily, like, a horrible thing, like, but I give it an 8.
I gave it a 7. I mean, it had a lot of gay characters because even before they go back to, like, the home and there's only, like, the 3 main gay characters, they introduced you to a lot of other gay characters in that whole gay community in LA, but it was also only gay men at all. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Where are the lesbians?
where just, like, anyone else? Like, say someone's bi, say something, no. Everyone's just gay.
Just gay men in this movie.
I mean, it was a gay rom-com. I can forgive it a bit. But that's just why I got a 7 for me.
We're glad that the gay rom-coms at least do exist to this degree.
Yes.
Next up is our queer comfort scale.
Alrighty. And for the queer comfort scale, we give it...
I give it an 8.5.
I also gave it an 8.5.
Yay!
Hey, look at that.
I love it.
Also, can we acknowledge that mine are Christmas colors? It's 2 greens and a little red.
I don't have...
That was unplanned. I just noticed it.
If I wanted to do Christmas colors, my scale would be a lot lower. That's the only way it would work for me.
Oh, well.
But yeah,
So why did you give it an 8.5?
I feel like our reasons are going to be very similar. Like I said in our previous rating, I'm just happy that we do have this queer representation in rom-coms, especially during, like, Christmas movies. Like, we have few others out there, but honestly, like, if you look up, like, gay Christmas movie, like, you could probably count them on the back of your, like, on your fingers.
Would you get many results at all? Like,
honestly, while I was trying to look up movies for this, I think, like, I would say there's like no more than 10 out there. So I'm very happy, and it makes me really comfortable. It was cute. It was a cute movie.
To me, it felt like a rom-com, and I love rom-coms. They make me feel just happy with myself. Like, you get that little, like, flare inside of you from, like, the romance you're seeing on screen. It was that, but with gay. honestly, it would have gotten a higher score if we got just a little bit more of the Christmas spirit in the movie. I just felt like that wasn't fully there. It was just a rom-com set at Christmas time versus like
A Christmas rom-com.
a super Christmas rom-com. Like,
I
it
get
had
that.
Christmas plot. I don't know. You didn't get the jolly aspect of it, which is something I would want. Mm-hmm. But it still got a high score for me. It made me feel happy with myself. Alrighty, and up next we'll be rating originality. Oh,
So
okay.
for originality, I give it a 4.
Wow, we rated low. That wasn't planned or changed last minute at all. It's not like she saw my score and realized hers needed to be lower.
I gave it a 3. I feel like I didn't. I feel like mine's too high now. Damn, wait, no, stop. I feel like yours is too high too.
So why do you give it a 3?
You know, it's not a Hallmark film, but it's a Hallmark film. No Hallmark film is original. I mean, have you seen the Netflix Christmas rom-coms especially? There are 3 Princess Switch movies. How many times do they switch like places? And
Why does this keep happening?
like the Christmas Prince, there are 3 of those as well, if I'm not mistaken. They just keep reusing the same story. It's a Hallmark film, but it doesn't need to be original to warm your heart.
Yeah, that's why people keep watching them. But
Yeah.
honestly, same, like, super Hallmark vibes. You could guess what was gonna happen.
The minute the movie
You
started.
could, not even in the trailer. You could guess what happened in the trailer. I didn't even have to watch this movie.
We didn't watch this movie.
We didn't. We just guessed. We just made it all up right here, and you probably would have went along with it too.
Got you. In 4K.
But like, yeah, anyway, there's so many movies that are exactly like this. Will the childhood best friends become lovers by the end of this movie? Of
Who
course they
knows?
will.
But also,
We know.
that is the staple of the genre. You want to go into it knowing exactly what's going to happen. It's that bit of comfort that you have throughout the entire movie. Nothing matters. None of these stakes are staked because you know they're going to end up in love.
I would have just been happy if they decided, you know what, we've been friends for so long. No, we're just friends.
And then they go their separate ways.
We go their separate ways.
But stay in contact.
So next up is writing.
And our scores for writing are...
R 3.4.
Oh, 7.5.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh my god.
So why did you give it a 3.4?
Jordan, I'm trying to keep it to 30-minute episodes at maximum. But I'll give you the short version.
Wow,
Anywho,
rude.
I hated the family. I really hated the family. Like, to me, I feel like families aren't actually like that. Like, even if you are a super loving family, I feel like it was just so intrusive.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, that's how I really feel. And like, I don't know, the way that some of their dialogue was written, like, I can't name any off the top of my head right now, but just certain things that the family said was very cringy. And like, there was a lot that happened in this movie. It was 2 hours long. I had to take a break in between because I'm like, what is happening right now? But it was cute.
Okay.
It was a 3.4 cute.
I gave it a 7.5 because I enjoyed it. It's like hard to follow up with that. You make good points, but you were wrong at the same time. Yeah, like, sure, it had a lot going on, but that was kind of part of the point. This was a rom-com, but it had its own plots and things going on. And I enjoyed those subplots. I thought they were interesting. I thought the motives were good. Like, it's not like they were all half-assed and, like, he's just that man who has the biggest career change coming up in his life, but he falls in love. No, he wanted to return home anyways. They set up good things. They gave both of the main characters like their own kind of inner turmoil to get through. Nick is writing a book and needs to write a new one. Peter wants to move home and spend time with his family. They had a character, like a real sense of self that you could see as the viewer, and I thought it shone through,
Yeah.
despite it being a very, like, predictable rom-com. So
Yeah.
I'm good. Plus it had a beautiful song. Not beautiful, but, like, funny song. The original karaoke writer.
Oh God.
And the aunt's character was perfect and had great jokes, and
Loved her.
I had fun.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
mean,
all that matters.
I agree, but unfortunately that only raised it up to a 3.4 for me.
Wow. Alrighty, and next up we'll be reviewing overall our thoughts. And our overall feelings are... What did
I
you
give
give
it a
it?
7.4.
I gave it an 8. So hey,
Okay.
look at that.
Yeah, like just because I bashed on the writing and the originality doesn't
Christmas
mean...
colors. I also included the red,
Aw,
but I
that's
just threw it
cute.
inside of the center of the 8 because it would have been weird otherwise.
But yeah, just because I bashed it on the writing and the originality doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it, which I did. It was cute.
To me, it was an adorable movie. I enjoyed watching it, but I was hoping for Christmas movie, getting that holiday cheer in, and it doesn't give you that. I think an 8 is still a pretty high rating, but that's really the
Yeah.
only reason why it wasn't higher.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was like what the original plan was, is that they were pretending to be dating. And like just along the
Yeah.
way, they started realizing. But
But
that's
also
even
that's
more cliche.
that's
but,
another cliche that exists
yeah,
in the
I would have preferred
rom-com.
that cliche. It made me stressed out a little bit.
Well, we can nitpick and rewrite it as much as we want, but we're not gonna do that.
All right, so let's get to our QPR total. AJ, hit us with that gay shit.
Alright, so what's this movie called?
Single all the way.
Hitting you with that gay shit. Single All the Way is 65.3% out of 100, putting it at a C-. Because of all the critiques you had, Jamie.
Wow.
I'd like to thank the Academy. I'm so sorry. I know you enjoyed the film so much. But yeah, what was a C or a C minus?
C-.
Oh my. So anyway, Single All the Way, you have a C minus.
Honestly, hearing the score, it sounds appropriate. It's a rom-com. I feel like it would be weird if it got a high score.
Yeah, they're not the best movies in the world.
They just are there to make you feel happy about yourself.
But nonetheless, we are super happy to have another queer rom-com
rom-com
out there, especially
Christmas rom-com for this season. It's perfect.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Queer Previews during the holiday season. Down below, we'll have links in the description for like the Trevor Project and other things you can donate to, and also links to our social media pages.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back and watch some more of our videos.
Thanks for watching.
And have a holly jolly poly Christmas.